Today I've got my thoughts on Marvel's Spectacular Spider-Man. This is the complete series in volume format, all 8 volumes or 26 episodes of the show. And for first thoughts on the show, when I first saw this on TV, I was just really hooked with it because it was a superhero cartoon, and when I was younger I was really into superhero cartoons like this, and I just remember this quite fondly for the reason that it was the first Marvel cartoon that I ever saw, and so that's why it really is stuck with me this whole time. Why do I think that this is the best Spider-Man series ever? Well, for one, the character designs are done very, very well. They don't feel like the characters are unrealistic looking like they were in the 1967-1969 first original Spider-Man show, or the 1981 to 1983 Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, which both of those shows are good for their times, but as the years have gone on, the quality, when you look back on those characters, are just not as good compared to newer versions of the characters. For example, off the Ultimate Spider-Man from 2012, the characters again look more realistic. So the character's design is kept on going up, but I think that the character design in Spectacular Spider-Man for a lot of the characters is probably their best versions yet. Looking particular at Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane Watson and Flash Thompson, just to name a few of the characters from the show. And so that's one of the big things that I really, really enjoy with this show, and why I think it is one of the better versions of Spider-Man. And another thing is story and continuation, and I think that the Spectacular Spider-Man, with each episode building on the previous one, little bits of them continuing to transfer over from the previous episodes, was a really, really good thing that they covered in this show. And that's another reason I really, really like this show, is because the little bits of the episode continued to cross over from previous episodes, unlike some of the other shows which would have one-off episodes, which you see in more recent cartoons, where they'll have just like a one-off episode and not build any main story, and they'll only choose to do that once every couple of episodes. So they'll add something that'll be story and plot related to the overall big plot of the continuing seasons, if it has more than one season. And that's another thing that I really like with this show. But the one thing that really I don't like is the fact that by the time season 2 was going on, Sony was in a bit of a war, if you want to call it that, over the rights to Spider-Man, because Marvel had bought Disney, or Disney bought Marvel, and they had all the Marvel characters, and Spider-Man was a Marvel character, but Sony still had the rights to the character. So then that led to pretty much the cancellation of Spectacular Spider-Man after the second season. So the second season ended on a really big cliffhanger, and when Marvel got the full rights, they pretty much quit Spectacular Spider-Man, started off with the Ultimate Spider-Man from 2012, which ran for 5 years. I believe 3 seasons. And they just completely redid everything to the Spider-Man and new voices, everything. The character design was still very similar, but they just redid everything, and I honestly don't like that. But that doesn't mean that the new one is a bad show. But I still think that the Spectacular Spider-Man is the best overall Spider-Man version in a TV show, cartoon, because it's just overall a great show, and I love the fact that it covers a part of Peter's life in high school, which is not really covered in many of the other shows. So that's another thing that a lot of people can relate to, especially high schoolers, which would be the problems you deal with when high school. And so that's another reason I really like the show, especially now that I'm in high school. That's why I like this show, and that's why you guys should check out this really great show. And also feel free to tell me in the comment section if you've seen any episodes of the show, and tell me your thoughts on this video in the comment section below, and just like and subscribe for more, because I will do more in the future.